If you've been following our top 100 list of the greatest movies of all time, then you will know that the future is very bleak. We've had more than a few dystopian futures here on the list, and guess what? We've got another one for you right now. This is number 21, and it is The Road Warrior from 1981. Victor Lucas, this was a sequel that people who first encountered The Road Warrior didn't know was a sequel.
It almost is a reimagining. It's kind of similar to the way that Robert Rodriguez did Desperado after he did El Mariachi, kind of retelling the same story but with the budget.
Same thing with Raimi with The Evil Dead 2.
Yes.
It's the same exact plot, the same exact story, except this time he's got 10 times the budget that he had in the original movie, which was Mad Max. This one was called in Australia Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, but they took off the Mad Max 2 and instead they started the film with a montage for the North American release to get viewers up to speed on where this character had been.
It's been a pleasure doing business with you, but I'm leaving.
It's kind of a mash between a post-apocalyptic thriller, a super hyper-violent revenge movie, as well as a Western with lots of destroyed vehicles and lots of carnage and lots of incredible stunt sequences and some terrific cinematography. It was super kinetic. There was just lots of momentum in this thing. You feel like you're along for the ride on these big caravan shots.
Totally.
You've got Max Rockatansky jumping from vehicle to vehicle, getting into fistfights and blasting away at baddies. I mean, it's really a breathless movie in a lot of ways. It's action, action, action all the way through.
Not a lot of exposition here. It's not exactly a character study, and none of this works without Mel Gibson, who was such a breakout star here. He was terrific in the first movie, only they thought that his Australian accent might actually hurt international sales on the film, so they dubbed him over. In the second movie, they let his Australian accent shine through.
It's all the same to you. I'll drive that tanker.
I was worried that they wouldn't have any new territory to cover after they had killed his wife and child in the first movie, because you can see this guy is mad, this guy is angry.
It's very dark.
And in the second movie, they sort of stretch that plot out and they find more life here. They find more adventures for Max.
Yeah, and they also find a couple of key emotional hooks. The story of Max's dog and also him encountering the feral kid. I mean, he does find a new reason to survive. Even though he has to do these heinous things, you still care about him because he's doing the right thing. Also, you see the humanity kind of conveyed in the performance of Mel Gibson. He belies this work. He is above just being this cardboard cutout of a character. He really owns this role. And Miller's production design and his effort to kind of craft a believable universe was so indelible, everybody has borrowed liberally from it, you know?
You know, the other thing I love about this movie is it's very much born out of the late 70s sensibility and has that dark, raw quality that the 70s films always
Chuck
had.
Bronson could have played this role.
Absolutely. And, you know, and I love the way that this film is sold, too. If you do nothing else, if you've never seen the film before, go and watch the trailer on YouTube, because it's one of those trailers that starts with the words, "in a world." And I've forgotten that that era wasn't all that long ago.
In a non-ironic "in a world"
In a
trailer.
world where a man has been wronged for the last time.
Lots of close-ups on shotguns, lots of close-ups on gasoline leaking out of tanks, and then explosions everywhere.
It is like a Western with explosions. I mean, that's the way the whole thing feels. And I love the bleakness of the desert here. I also feel like this is film school in a can, kind of, because this is the way you make a big action picture. You go into the middle of the desert and you just set off a bunch of explosions. You bring one good-looking guy, you bring a whole bunch of hideous guys, you ram some cars together, and you've got a classic. We hadn't had this kind of over-the-top action picture before, and this, as you would say, really moved the needle for action pictures. I mean, we have no Die Hard, we have no John McClane, we have no Riggs and Murtaugh. We don't have so many explosions.
I would argue we don't have Fallout in the video game universe.
Yes,
you know?
for sure.
I would argue that Borderlands doesn't exist with the same kind of ferocity if the Road Warrior doesn't come out.
Michael Bay has no career without this movie.
I know. This is seminal stuff. It's absolutely the Mad Max movie to watch out of the trilogy. It's also the star-making performance from Mel Gibson, so there's that
a new one
quality to it.
coming with Tom Hardy. The new Mad Max coming soon. And a video game.
I'm the best chance you've got.
Congratulations to Mad Max and Mel Gibson and George Miller. You are number 21 in our countdown of the greatest films of all time.